A very good evening to you and welcome to the news at 9 on Voice of the People Television. I am Promise A. Before we begin the news, we urge you to kindly visit our website on www.vop.ng for trending stories. And now the headlines. Senate's approval failed to third majority requirements, says Saystambuwal. PDP's BOT says Tinubu's action in Rivers State assault on democracy. SDP forecloses merger with APC and others. Nigeria to repay $500 million health loan in 25 years begins repayment 2029. Internet access for all Abian communities in 9 months, says the governor, Alex Oti. And in business, Elumelu seeks investor support for Africa's $450 billion growth target. In sports, up to US to take advantage, says Bafana coach Bruce. And in entertainment, Iyabo Ojo's The Warriors Lord premieres today. Now the news in details. Beginning in Rivers State, more revelations have emerged on the National Assembly's approval of President Bola Tinubu's emergency rule proclamation in Rivers State, with Senator Aminu Tambuwal saying the Constitution two-thirds majority was not met. Tambuwal disclosed on Thursday and Sunday that the Senate did not meet the required 73 out of 109 senators when it approved the declaration via vote of plenary last Thursday, thereby violating Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The former governor of Sokoto State, who was present during the closed session deliberation, noted that Section 305 of the Constitution is very clear on how the president can declare state of emergency and what is required of the legislature. However, he revealed that from what he saw, there was no such number on the floor on that day. Therefore, fell short of provision of the Constitution. Tambuwal further noted that the National Assembly ignored its precedents in approving the proclamation, wondering why it could not reference its precedents that are domiciled within its own library and within its own records. In a related development, the People's Democratic Party's Board of Trustees has declared President Bola Tinubu's emergency rule in Rivers State as his suspension of democratically elected officials as undemocratic and alien to Nigeria's constitution. Chairman of the PDP BOT, Senator Adolfo Swabara, said in a statement on Sunday that Nigeria's constitution is the fundamental legal document that guarantees the rights of Nigerians to participate in the democratic process. In the statement that described the action as a direct assault on democracy and the rule of law, Wabara said he was calling for the reversal of declaration in his capacity as the PDP BOT chairman and a former Senate president. Wabara also said further that it was sad and disheartening that the president ignored his earlier advice to disregard those calling for emergency rule. He added that he had also advised not to yield to those attempting to hijack power through the back door in the states. However, Tinubu's action only reminded Nigerians of the better forgotten era of military dictatorship. Well, similarly, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has condemned President Bola Tinubu's suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara's, his deputy, and all state lawmakers in Rivers State. Soyinka further condemned Tinubu's emergency rule declaration as being against the federal imperative. He noted rather needs to discuss the 1999 Constitution, which he said gives too much power to the president. According to him, if it is constitutional right, then it is about time Nigeria sat down and amended the 1999 Constitution to ensure that it operates as a genuine federal entity. Noting that the government is over-centralized, Soyinka said the debate will be on whether the emergency rule was, in the first place, a wise decision. However, he stated that in terms of fundamental support, the declared emergency rule in Rivers State. It had been alleged that 42 senators, including Ume, who is in the Senate on the opposition Labour Party's ticket, were paid to back Governor Siminalayi Fubara's suspension. However, in a statement, Ume dismissed the allegation as baseless blackmail, inciting that he neither received any money to support the declaration, nor was he at any meeting where such alleged payments were made. According to the senator, he was at an iftar gathering at the Senate guest house where he led Christian prayers, but no discussions about the emergency rule took place there. He further assured constituents of his commitment to honest and accountable leadership and service with dignity and integrity. Ahead of the 2027 general elections, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, Adewale Adebajo, said the party would neither merge or collaborate with the ruling All Progressive Congress or any other party. Adebayo, who spoke yesterday in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, during a meeting with the party's state executives, rejected claims that the SDP is an APC extension. Describing the SDP as a strong party which is older than all others and with a clear mission, Adebayo stated that he remains with the party alongside the national chairman and secretary as well as all state chairmen. The former presidential candidate further noted that people look down on the SDP because it is a party of intellects and does not attack people in tackling issues. He said the SDP remains the only party a little to the left and has been so since its foundation in 1989. According to him, solutions to Nigeria's problem can only be found on the left, which emphasizes investing money in education, housing, healthcare, and good infrastructure for a more abundant life for the people. And moving on, a financing agreement between Nigeria and the International Development Association shows that the federal government will be repaying a $500 million concessional loan from the World Bank, lending from 2029 to 2054. Secured under the Nigeria's Primary Healthcare Provision Strengthening Program, the loan aims to improve Nigeria's primary healthcare services, particularly maternal and child health, emergency medical care, and pandemic preparedness. Nigeria will repay the principal at a rate of 1.65% annually between 2029 and 2049. And afterwards, the rate will increase to a 3.40% from 2049 to 2054. However, the loan will be serviced twice a year with installments due every April 15th and October 15th. The loan also attracts a commitment charge of 0.5% on unwithdrawal funds and a service charge of 0.75% on withdrawal balances. We'll go on a quick break and return with more stories. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And now to the rest of the stories. Official data shows that the Canadian government rejected no fewer than 13,170 Nigerians who applied for refugee protection from January 2013 to December 2024. According to the Refugee Protection Division of the Immigration and Refugee Board of Canada, Nigeria at fifth is among the top 5 countries with most rejected claims. The IMRB grants refugee protection in Canada if the RPD satisfactorily confirms that an application or claimant meets the United Nations definition of a convention refugees as incorporated into Ghanaian laws or a person in need of protection. The 1951 UN Convention relating to the status of refugees defines refugees as persons who have a substantiated fears of persecution because of their race, nationality, religion, political ideology, or membership of a particular social group. However, persons asking for protection in Canada must show evidence of danger of torture, risks to life, cruel and unusual treatment, or punishment should they return to their country of nationality. Pro-democracy activist and human rights defender Bashiru Dauda has discussed plans for a 50-day advocacy and solidarity journey across West Africa to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Economic Community of West African States. The executive director of the Non-Governmental Citizens Participation Against Corruption Initiatives listed resilience and unity in spite of serious challenges among ECOWAS's remarkable achievements in the past 5 decades. According to the Castillo state-born historian, ECOWAS has transformed from a mere international organization into a dynamic community with strong institutions and tangible achievements that continue to benefit the region. The removal of visa restrictions as one of the regional body's major milestones, saying it has facilitated free movement across member states, also boosted trade, education, tourism, and other activities. Dauda is also canvassing the return of Sahel states to ECOWAS, stating that he would use the journey to debunk the false narrative that the body is a puppet of Western powers. And away from that, the Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center has confirmed an explosion at a Suku oil facility, which is operated by the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited in Akokotoru local government area of Rivers State. Though it is not yet clear whether the latest incident was due to equipment failure, sabotage, or attack, the executive director of the grassroots non-governmental YEC Nigeria, Dr. Dumnebari Fineface, said the explosion was accompanied by fireballs. Nevertheless, the General Secretary of the Suku Kingdom, Witness Alicia, denied social media reports that fire engulfed the Suku gas plant. According to him, there was fire outbreak on one of the gas pipelines along the Suku Abua Rumuji right of way. However, the Suku gas plant, which is major feeder of the nation's economy, is safe and in perfect working condition. Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 3 Operation Well-Stroke have arrested a suspected member of a major gun-running syndicate and high-profile bandit leader in Taraba State, Mansur Mohammed. The troops, in collaboration with Sector 2 Operation Safe Haven, intercepted Mohammed in Dongo local government area with 1.2 million naira, allegedly meant for illegal purchase of arms. A statement on Sunday from the acting spokesperson of Brigade, Captain Uni Ulubundende, disclosed the investigation linked the funds to sponsors in Bauchi State. Similarly, the troops have confirmed the arrest of another notorious bandit leader, Adamu Yakubu, said to have been implicated in multiple cases of banditry, kidnap for ransom, and violent crimes across Katsina, Allah local government area of Benue State and southern Taraba. According to intelligence report, Yakubu and his gang were responsible for a brutal attack on Shekika village on March the 10th, in which 2 people were killed and several others injured. In a similar development, security operatives have begun a search and rescue operations for Lieutenant Cynthia Akor of Defense Headquarters and two others kidnapped by gunmen in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The naval officer and the two others were kidnapped from their residence in Mpape area of the FCT on Friday night. An anonymous source disclosed yesterday that the kidnappers had contacted the families of the victims and demanded a 100 million naira ransom. Though the relevant authorities at the defense headquarters, as well as the Federal Capital Territory Police Command, were yet to confirm the developments, the security source, however, disclosed that security operatives have begun searching for the victims. And from Abuja, we'll move to Abia State, where the governor, Alex Uti, has assured all communities in Abia State of internet connectivity within 9 months. Uti spoke yesterday while flagging off the first phase of the Umuahia dedicated internet access wild area network and managed network services projected at the Nnamdi Azikiwe State Secretariat in Umuahia. He said the project would re-engineer efficiency and flexibility in operation and interaction within and amongst institutions, enhance policy execution, and endanger its cultural outcome-oriented competition among civil servants. Uchi explained that this project phase is a carefully coordinated program of digital support infrastructure and a layout integration that will involve the acquisition and distribution of thousands of high-performance digital tools and devices across ministries, departments, and agencies. According to the governor, the goal is to improve governance deliverables by empowering civil servants to do their jobs in a result-oriented manner. He further stated that this will effectively lead into the age of seamless collaboration, birthing a new service-wide culture of learning, sharing, and growth. Well, we'll go on a quick break and return with business and sports stories. Stay tuned.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
And now to business stories. Chairman of AS Holding, Tony Lumelu, has called on global investors to support Africa's economic transformation, citing its projected $450 billion gross domestic product boost from the African Continental Free Trade Area by 2035, noting that Africa's potential is often overlooked in spite of its youthful population, natural resources, and digital expansion. Elumelu urged foreign partners to shift from aid to investment and participate in Africa's economic rise. In an opinion for the World Government Summit, Elumelu wrote that Africa is not a charity case, but the next frontier for global economic growth. Urging investors not to miss this opportunity, he explained that AfCFTA is creating a single market of a 1.3 billion people, also adding that this integration will add $450 billion to the continent's GDP. Still talking business, a Nigerian consumer rights group, Save the Consumers, has described MultiChoice Nigeria's recent price hike on DSTV and GoTV subscriptions as insensitive and exploitative. In a statement on Sunday by the executive director, Aliyu Elias, the group condemned the recent 21% price increase by MultiChoice Nigeria on its services effective March 1, 2025. It accused the company of economic discrimination, highlighting that while Nigeria's subscribers face higher costs, MultiChoice has reduced prices by up to 38% and introduced service enhancement for its South African customers. According to the group, this action is not only insensitive and exploitative, but also blatantly discriminatory. The hike came less than a year after the company's last price increment for its Nigerian subscription in May 2024, within the Save the Consumer stating that the latest adjustment defied a country's directive from the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. And from business, we'll move into sports stories now, where coach of Bafana Bafana of South Africa, Hugo Bruce, says the Super Eagles will help his team qualify for the 2026 World Cup, even though both teams are rivals in the African qualifiers Group C. Benin Republic, who were levels on points with South Africa in the previous round of matches, dropped to second after drawing a 2-2 with Zimbabwe, with Nigeria facing Zimbabwe at home on Tuesday and South Africa traveling to Benin Republic on the same day. The group dynamics could shift if the Super Eagles win and Benin hold South Africa to a draw. However, Bruce remains unfazed by such scenario, insisting that Nigeria's desperation to win their remaining matches will actually benefit South Africa, who is currently enjoying 4-point lead over the three-time African champions. Still in sports, Warri Wolves are celebrating their qualification to the round of 16 following the disqualification of Old Warhouse Shooting Stars of Ibadan from the 2025 Presidential Federation Cup. The Ibadan side were thrown out of allegedly fielding ineligible players in their first round match against Zamfara United. The Oluyole Warriors had earlier picked the round of 32 tickets without kicking the ball of Area 3 field in Abuja following Zamfara United's refusal to show up for the round of 64 match. However, Ruth David, on behalf of the Nigerian Football Federation's General Secretary, informed Shooting Stars that these featured 5 players who were not registered with the Federation in their line-up of the game. They were Samuel Okun, Sadiq Ibrahim, Ephraim Wachuku, Nonso Nzedioku, and Ukeme Williams. By implication, the players forged their licenses and therefore the team is disqualified from further participation in the 2025 Presidential Federation Cup, the Federation stated. And now moving on to entertainment. Ongoing right now in Lagos is the official premiere of the latest epic movie, Labake Olododo, The Warrior Lord by Nollywood star Iyabo Ojo. Labake Olododo follows the story of a courageous woman navigating complex power dynamics, loyalty, and leadership challenges. Rooted in Yoruba culture, the film incorporates traditional language and music, aiming to offer an authentic portrait of its settings and themes. BOPTV's crew brings you clips from the ongoing events from our studio. Oh, I will keep you updated on that story in our subsequent bulletins by tomorrow. I'm now moving on to entertainment. The rest of it, Dawood Benga Gospel Outreach Ministries is set for the second season of 2-day Feast of Praise at Abulegba in Lagos State. The program will host a lineup of gospel singers, including the legendary Tope Alabi, Elijah Akintunde, and Dayo Sachs, among others, who will lead the congregation in praises and worship sessions. According to the Gospel Ministry, the Praise and Revival program scheduled for March 27th and March 28th is designed to rejuvenate Nigerians, uplift their souls, and leave participants refreshed and renewed. Well, that's it on the news at 9, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines again. Senate's approval failed to third majority requirements, says Saystambuwal. PDP's BOT says Tinubu's action in Rivers State assault on democracy. SDP forecloses merger with APC and others. Nigeria to repay $500 million health loan in 25 years and begins repayment by 2029. Internet access for all Abian communities in 9 months, and this is according to Governor Alex Oti. And in business, Elumelu seeks investor support for Africa's $450 billion growth target. In sports, up to US to take advantage, says Bafana's coach Bruce. In entertainment, Iyabo Ojo's The Warrior Lord premieres today. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we add Voice of the People Television, and other social media platforms, we add VOP TV Live. I am Promise. Good evening. Thanks for watching.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.